The old Victorian house loomed at the end of Blackwood Lane, overgrown weeds choking the yard, twisted branches clawing at the crumbling facade. Moonlight painted silver streaks on the shattered windows. The air hung heavy with the scent of decay. A chill wind whispered through the trees, sounding like a mournful sigh.
Gripping his satchel tighter. Ready?
Taking a deep breath, adjusting her backpack. Let's do this.
Samantha adjusted her backpack. Inside lay their tools, cameras, EMF readers, and a worn, leather-bound journal. They walked towards the house, each step bringing them closer to the unknown. The house seemed to watch their approach, awaiting them with cold, silent anticipation. The front door creaked open like a death rattle, dust motes dancing in the faint moonlight that spilled inside. The air within was stagnant and cold, smelling of damp earth and something metallic and vaguely sweet.
Drawing a small flashlight from his satchel. Stay close.
Guru's flashlight beam cut through the oppressive darkness, sweeping across the foyer. Cobwebs draped the once grand staircase. Shadows clung to the peeling wallpaper.
Whispering, shivering, this place.
Samantha whispered, her voice hushed, pulling her jacket tighter around her. They moved cautiously deeper into the house, each footstep echoing in the silence. The floorboards groaned beneath their weight. The house felt alive, breathing around them. A sudden sound made them both freeze, a soft whisper from the floor above. They exchanged a nervous glance. The hunt for the artifact had begun. The library was a testament to forgotten grandeur. Floor-to-ceiling bookshelves lined the walls, filled with leather-bound volumes. A once ornate rug lay faded and threadbare in the center of the room. A massive fireplace dominated one wall.
Running a finger along a dusty spine. Guru, over here.
Samantha felt a strange energy emanating from the books, as if they held faint echoes of the past. She felt drawn to a particular shelf, tucked away in a darkened corner. Guru joined her, his eyes widening as he saw the titles. Books on demonology, ancient rituals, and one in particular that made his blood run cold, the Necronomicon.
Reaching for the book, whispering, "We're not alone."
As he reached for the book, a cold gust of wind seemed to emanate from it. The hairs on his neck stood on end. He sensed a presence in the room, something dark and watchful. Samantha felt it too, a prickling sensation on her skin, the feeling of being watched by something unseen. She clutched her EMF reader tighter. It began to flicker erratically. The room felt heavy, as if the air itself was thick with dread. The growl echoed from the shadows, deep and guttural, sending shivers down their spines. Guru's flashlight beam darted across the library, illuminating nothing but dust motes dancing in the stale air.
Whispering, voice trembling. What was that?
Samantha whispered, her voice trembling despite her best efforts to remain calm.
Murmuring something ancient, something evil.
Guru took a step back, his hand instinctively reaching for the silver crucifix beneath his shirt. The air grew colder, the scent of decay intensified, mixed with something sulfurous and sharp, the smell of death. Samantha's gaze darted around the room. She felt a presence closing in, suffocating them. Then she saw it. A flicker of movement in the shadows, a shape coalescing from the darkness. It was tall and gaunt, its edges blurred and shifted like smoke. Two glowing eyes pierced the gloom, staring at them with chilling intensity.
Hissing, "Run."
Guru hissed, his voice tight with fear. Panic surged through Samantha. She spun towards the library door, but the way was blocked. A wall of solid darkness now stood between them and escape. The shadowy figure glided closer, moving with an unnatural fluidity that defied the laws of physics.
We're trapped!
Samantha cried, her voice high with terror.
There has to be another way out.
Guru pushed her behind him, standing protectively, his flashlight beam trained on the approaching figure. His eyes darted around the library, falling on a trapdoor hidden beneath a faded rug. He vaguely remembered reading about a hidden passage in the manor's history, a desperate escape route for the Blackwood family.
"Help me with this."
He shouted, dropping to his knees and yanking at the heavy rug. Samantha scrambled to assist him. Together they heaved the rug aside. The trapdoor groaned as they pried it open. A damp, earthy smell wafted up from the darkness below. The shadow figure hissed, lunging towards them.
"Go, I'll hold it off."
Samantha hesitated at the edge of the abyss. The darkness below seemed to beckon her. But Guru's words spurred her into action. She scrambled down the rickety wooden steps. The trapdoor slammed shut above her, plunging her into absolute darkness. Guru spun to face the shadowy figure. It towered over him, its form shifting and swirling like black smoke given life. The glowing eyes bored into him, seeming to see into his very soul. He raised his crucifix. The silver glinted in the faint light.
Begone, foul creature, you have no power here.
The shadow figure paused, shrinking back slightly from the crucifix. But the fear in Guru's heart told him it was only a momentary reprieve. This entity was ancient, powerful, and it would not be deterred so easily. He backed slowly towards the trapdoor, never taking his eyes off the creature. It glided closer, its form solidifying, taking on a vaguely humanoid shape. He could make out the faint outline of clawed hands and a mouth stretched wide in a silent snarl. The smell of sulfur intensified, burning his nostrils. He knew he was outmatched, but he would buy Samantha as much time as he could. He would not let this creature claim another soul.
Samantha stumbled through the darkness, the air thick with the smell of mildew and decay. The passage was narrow. She scraped her hands on the rough-hewn stone walls. Panic threatened to consume her, but she forced herself to keep moving. Guru was counting on her. She fumbled in her backpack for her flashlight. Its beam cut through the oppressive darkness. She could hear the faint echo of Guru's shouts from above. The passage opened into a small earthen chamber. A single flickering oil lamp cast grotesque shadows on the walls. In the center of the chamber sat a stone pedestal, and on it rested an ornately carved wooden box. It pulsed with a faint, ethereal glow, the artifact. She had found it, but there was no time to rejoice. She could hear the sounds of a struggle from above, Guru's desperate cries. She had to get back to him. She grabbed the box, its surface surprisingly warm to the touch. As she tucked it into her backpack, she heard a deafening roar from above, and then silence. Guru's scream echoed in Samantha's ears, a sound of pure terror. She scrambled up the rickety steps, ignoring the searing pain in her lungs. The trapdoor was partially open. Through the gap, she saw chaos. The library was in ruins, bookshelves toppled, contents scattered. Dust and debris swirled, and in the center stood the shadow figure. It had taken on a grotesque parody of a human form, its eyes burned with malevolent glee. Guru lay pinned beneath a fallen beam, his face contorted in pain. The shadow figure advanced, clawed hand raised for the final blow. Samantha threw herself through the trapdoor, landing hard on the debris-strewn floor. The shadow figure turned towards her, growling. The room began to shake violently, dust rained down, cracks spiderwebbed across the walls. The entire manor groaned in protest.
Samantha, get out!
The shadow figure hesitated, its gaze darting between Samantha and the collapsing room. It seemed caught between revenge and survival. The floor gave way, swallowing them in a maelstrom of splintered wood and shattered stone.
Samantha coughed, sputtered, and pushed herself up from the pile of rubble. She was miraculously unharmed. The artifact lay beside her, its glow pulsing faintly in the darkness. She looked around for Guru, her heart pounded with fear. Guru!
Her voice was hoarse from the dust. A faint groan came from beneath a pile of debris. She rushed towards the sound, her heart leaping with relief as she saw Guru's hand twitch. He was alive. She frantically pulled away the debris, ignoring the searing pain in her muscles.
Guru, are you okay?
She asked, her voice trembling with concern. He groaned again. His eyes fluttered open, filled with pain, but also with relief at seeing her.
I'm all right. We need to get out of here. This place, it's going to be swallowed whole.
He was right. The air was thick with dust and the smell of damp earth. The ground continued to tremble beneath them. The remnants of the manor were collapsing in on themselves. Samantha helped Guru to his feet. Together, they stumbled towards the faint glimmer of moonlight that marked the entrance to the passage. They emerged from the tunnel into the cool night air, gasping for breath, their lungs burned. Behind them, the ground continued to rumble. The last vestiges of the Blackwood Manor vanished into a cloud of dust and debris. The artifact pulsed warmly in Samantha's grip, the only thing left untouched by the destruction. Guru leaned heavily against her. His breathing was ragged.
It's over.
It's over!
She looked down at the artifact. Its glow seemed to have intensified.
But what do we do with this?
Guru straightened, looking at the box. then back at Samantha, his eyes filled with a newfound determination.
We protect it. We make sure it never falls into the wrong hands again.
Samantha nodded, understanding. The shadow figure may be gone, but the darkness it represented still lingered. It was a darkness that existed in the heart of every human, a darkness that they now had a responsibility to guard against. They stood together, silhouetted against the rising sun, two guardians bonded by their shared experience. Forever linked by the shadows of the forgotten, their journey was far from over. It had just begun.